What's up, guys? Today I got the chance to see Deadpool and Wolverine twice now, and today I wanted to do my review on it. This video is going to contain spoilers, so make sure you go see Deadpool and Wolverine before checking out this video, because quite frankly, we gotta talk about the spoilers in this movie. We got the Magneto helmet out here because he's my favorite villain. We got Deadpool out here, X-Men shirt on, Canada, you know, Deadpool and all.
You're welcome, Canada.
So let's get into the video. And spoilers for this video, gonna contain a lot of the cameos, stuff like that. I basically want to talk about this movie start to finish because this movie's just freaking amazing for me. I went into this movie really excited because I grew up loving the X-Men movies. I was a big fan of 20th Century Fox when it came to, let's say, like Blade, Daredevil, all the Fantastic Four movies, even the 2015 one, I still found myself enjoying more than other people. So getting into this movie basically starts off right after where Deadpool 2 ended, basically saying Deadpool still has the thing that Cable gave him. He goes back in time, and then he does all this stuff, and then he goes to basically Earth 616, the MCU timeline, in 2018. He talks with Happy Hogan, which is our first cameo, which is, it's kind of weird that Happy Hogan is in this, but if you think about it, Happy Hogan, Jon Favreau, is actually a character from the 20th Century Fox universe. He played in Daredevil, Matt Murdock's helper person, like basically buddy, Foggy Nelson, I believe his name is. So that was kind of a nice touch, but in this, he of course plays Happy Hogan and gets denied of being, you know, an Avenger because his whole thing is he needs to be an Avenger, but the Avengers basically need to do the task for the other people, not because they need to do it for themselves. You know, and basically that's what Happy's telling him is, you can't go into this job selfish, you need to go into this job doing it for the other person. But, you know, Deadpool learned this, and that's basically his whole motive throughout the whole movie. And there's these things called anchor beings, which Kevin Feige did say that in this movie, if, like, let's say Infinity War was like 70% of what was going to lead to Avengers Endgame, or 90% of what was going to lead to Avengers Endgame, this movie 70% what's going to lead to the next two Avengers movies, which I believe is this anchor being thing. And the anchor being in, like, Deadpool's world is, of course, Wolverine. And I believe that that's a whole thing with the 616 universe. Our universe is that Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man was our anchor being. And I honestly think that that's why Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to be Doctor Doom, because that also got released right when this movie was coming out. And I think that's the whole reason why they got Robert Downey Jr. to play Doctor Doom, is because the whole anchor being situation is that Iron Man is our anchor being. That's what I'm thinking, and Iron Man's of course dead, and Wolverine's dead in Deadpool's universe, and basically Deadpool's universe is gonna die. That's when we go through this whole montage of cameos, which was amazing. We got to see short Deadpool, which was great. We got to see Logan Deadpool, which was like, it looked like Red Dead Redemption, which was really funny. And then we also got to see like Henry Cavill as Wolverine, which I've been saying I want Henry Cavill to be my Wolverine for years now for the MCU. I would love either Daniel Radcliffe or Henry Cavill. Daniel Radcliffe's a weird one, but I think he would be great at it. I think those would be great Wolverine castings, and I think Henry Cavill could be amazing. And of course, the jokes throughout this whole montage sequence with Henry Cavill was great. He did the whole little like arm thing with the claws that he does in Mission Impossible. It was a great little cameo that we got there. And then we also got the classic brown and yellow suit fighting the Hulk. We didn't get to see the Hulk really, but I'm assuming that's a whole rights issue. I really was looking forward to seeing maybe like a Hulk versus Wolverine fight. We didn't get that, but we did get like a little sliver of what it would have looked like, which is kind of cool. We got a few bunch of other ones in there, and then we also got the Wolverine that we're gonna see throughout the whole movie, which is a Wolverine that basically just goes on a kill spree and killed all the X-Men. Kind of is what they didn't really explain it too well. It's a little messy on what he really did, but that's basically the whole synopsis, is that he killed the X-Men, he let down his whole universe, and so they bring back this one, they get put into the void, which we then see, they're basically fighting, and he goes like, wait, I can help you save your world, yada, yada, yada. And that's when we see another cameo, which I was like, whoa. As soon as I heard the voice, I knew it right away. It was Chris Evans. I just thought it was Captain America, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's Captain America. And I was like, that's a little odd that he's in here. And then all of a sudden I heard Flame On, and I jumped out of my seat. The moment he said Flame On, jumped out of my seat. I was so ecstatic. And then that's when, of course, we get to see Charles Xavier's twin sister. Completely forget her name, because honestly, she's not really that amazing of a super villain in this movie. She's not really a great super villain for the MCU. However, she is menacing. She's definitely way overpowered, and they kind of have to dumb down her powers for this movie. But I love the way that she controls people's minds. She has to put her fingers in the person's head more than like Professor X, where like he just like goes like this and on his own head, and like he sees your visions. Like she actually tortures you and puts her hand inside your head, which is utterly disgusting, and the way they do that's very cool. We get to see a bunch of other cameos, like a giant dead Ant-Man, which we saw in the trailers. They escape because then we see that there's like the cloud thing from Loki that goes and kills people, so they're trying to escape. Wolverine and Deadpool escape. That's when we run into like Dogpool and Nicepool, which Nicepool was a really funny character in here. And I really like the addition of Dogpool in here. And then we got a little bit more of Wolverine's backstory. And all this happening, I will say, I think the directing style of this whole film was great, because the color grading was great. The cinematography was great. The fight scenes, the fight coordinations between Wolverine and Deadpool, especially when like they first fight and when they get into the void, was absolutely amazing. We see that Wolverine's becoming animalistic, crawling on the floor. It was really fun. However, I don't think that's the best fight scene, because then eventually we get to where Nicepool gives Wolverine his car, and we get to the best fight scene, I think, in the movie, where Deadpool and Wolverine are basically fighting in the car. And there's a little funny Easter egg in here where Deadpool slams Wolverine's head into the radio. We hear The Greatest Showman song, and I'm like, wow, you could have played that for a little bit longer. But they were fighting, and then that was really exciting. Then we get to see the biggest cameos, in my opinion. We got to see Elektra, which we all knew she was going to come in it. And then we got to see Blade. I was very surprised to see Blade. I jumped up out of my seat. But I actually jumped out of my seat more for when I saw Gambit. Because my favorite X-Men character, if you don't know this, is Gambit. I love Gambit. He's my favorite. Hands down, I think he's the coolest character. He has the coolest powers, I think. So that was really exciting to see him there. He's such a funny character because of his whole backstory. Also, like how kind of Disney bought Fox. They never got to make the Gambit movie. It was really exciting to see him there. And his whole, like, just his speech was so funny, his accent. And we got to see X-23, which we all knew she was in there because they released it in the trailer for some reason. And then basically they all decided to go back to Charles's sister. They have a whole fight scene, which was really fun. I love seeing Gambit, Blade fight again, or Gambit fight for once, and then Blade fight for again. It was really exciting, and then we got to see, basically, they don't really defeat Charles' sister there. They kind of like persuade her to go back into their universe. They, of course, go back into their universe, and that's when this movie, for me, kind of gets a little slow. I'm not going to lie with you. It gets a little slow. They basically have to fight all the other Deadpool variants, which I'm kind of a little disappointed we didn't get to see their like faces, but it was like Blake Lively was Ladypool, Matthew McConaughey was like Cowboy Deadpool. However, except we got to see Wolverine's, of course, his mask. Great. It looked fantastic, looked amazing. And then, of course, they have to team up, Deadpool and Wolverine. So basically, they thought they were going to sacrifice themselves, and that's when we say Deadpool finally understands the whole motive, that he needs to do it for the other people and not for himself, and that's when he decides to sacrifice himself to save his world. And then Wolverine comes in and tags along, and man, Wolverine got jacked. Hugh Jackman just got jacked. That is Hugh jacked, man. He was insane. Full-on abs everywhere. Big dude. Crazy looking man. I was shocked. And then that's basically the ending. The girl died. Charles' sister dies. We got to see Peter interact with the girl from the TVA, which was a little funny. And basically, they're kind of setting up for Deadpool to be into the MCU, going in, because they said, I have a feeling you're going to be needed later. Wolverine stays with him. I'm sure that they're all going to return to Secret Wars, and that's pretty much the movie. I found myself having a great time with it, and I'm forgetting the best scene in this whole movie, of course, that intro. That intro hooked me right away. Deadpool doing Bye Bye Bye, easily the darkest scene in the MCU. Him killing all the TVA agents, singing Bye 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 with Logan's dead corpse. Wow. That was easily the darkest, most sinister, funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was so great. I loved every second of it. So going through my rundown here before I give my overall score. For plot, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. People are going to say it's messy. I found myself loving it. Visually, 8 out of 10. Those cinematographies between the fight scenes, the color grading of the costumes, everything, it was perfect. Love seeing Gambit's magic tricks going on. It was really fun. Acting, I'm giving 8. Hugh Jackman does great in this movie with his whole backstory as Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds is a funny character. Nothing too amazing here. Channing Tatum as Gambit was great. When we get to soundtrack, that's going to be a 9 out of 10. We got Madonna in here. We got the NSYNC with Bye Bye Bye. That was amazing. The whole best scene of the movie. And then enjoyment, I'm giving enjoyment 10 out of 10. Enjoyment's so fun. I'm giving the enjoyment a 10 out of 10. You can't not have fun watching this movie. It may be a little messy, but the cameos, the whole story, the comedy in this movie was so funny. I found myself laughing at every single joke with this movie, especially with Deadpool and Thor, which I think will happen in Secret Wars. And then, of course, intro and ending, both 10 out of 10s. The intro was fantastic. The ending was great. It made my heart feel like it was a little kid again watching this movie. I loved it. Found myself smiling throughout this whole movie and laughing and just having a great time. So overall, I'm giving this movie a 93 out of 100. Phenomenal movie. MCU is back. Of course, next MCU project will say it's not. And then the next one after that will say it's back. This is the only MCU movie coming out this year. Very surprising. Next MCU movie to come out is in February for Captain America. Can't wait to see that then. But yeah, I'm so thrilled to say that this movie was amazing. This movie is definitely what Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness should have been. 10 times better than that. I do, as multiverse movies go, I do like No Way Home a lot more than this. I will say I think No Way Home's a little bit better. But like a little bit better, I mean like a 94 out of 100. This is a 93 out of 100. It's right there, kind of. But No Way Home, I have a little bit more of a fan base for than this. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys like it. As of right now, Deadpool and Wolverine for me is in my second place for movies of the year. I have Challengers above it. I know, a lot of people are going to say I'm weird for that. I like Challengers. Don't know why. Thanks so much for watching today's video. With all that being said, this is it out. Peace.